Class is in session. And why do I say that? Because I'm a teacher, not a speaker. Now don't get fooled by the attire. It is Throwback Thursday, so I'm representing the 70s. So normally I'm Mr. Manning, but today I'm Lucius with 2 L's. I have a lesson for you all today. Consider this a AA meeting. I'm referring to adapting and advancing. You see, today, my students were doing a presentation, something that they have been researching, working either individually or with a partner, and they've been researching the characteristics of life, and they had to put together a Google Slides presentation, and today is when they share it with the class. Now, this is something that counts as a test grade. Now, I have some amazing students, some highly intelligent students. I'm fortunate to teach on the STEM team, but one thing that I did observe and I had to adapt. They did presentations for another class and we saw little gaps in the method in which they presented. A lot of times they had their back to the audience. Sometimes they didn't seem as familiar. Some of their presentations were a little bit more on the plain side. So I made it a point to kind of emphasize those things. And I also tried my best to set them up for success. So I had a wireless keyboard I put at the front of the classroom. I also had a stand and I said, hey, we could put our laptops and use it almost like a teleprompter. So one person can control your presentation and another person could be speaking and you could take turns and you could look down at the computer and we're not reading off the slide. We're just using it for highlighted points. But guess what I saw today? Group after group presented, and how did most of them present? They stood in front of the classroom, even with the wireless keyboard, they turned around and they read off the screen. So after the first group or two, I gave them a reminder about how they should use the computer in the front. And I gave them other tips. And I realized group after group went until I actually said, ladies and gentlemen, I need us to listen to what I say to the individual groups. And guess what? Make that small change so when you come up to the front, the presentation should actually gradually be getting better. However, that was not necessarily the case. One thing that we're going to be working on with my class is learning how to adapt and advance. I don't want them to be stuck in that same space. So I thought about that as we went to lunch, and now I'm here thinking, how can I adapt? How can you adapt? What things are happening around us that we can learn from, where we can make those minor adjustments so that we can adapt and then advance? And I'll just keep it simple and leave it at that. I want y'all to have a spectacular day. This is from Mr. Lucius with 2 L's. And remember, I'm a teacher, not a speaker. I want you to have an amazing day.